What is up, YouTube? What is up, Jet Nation? Sean back with another episode on the Jets Show. Gonna break down the Jets' initial 53-man roster. Before we get to that, though, if you like the content on the show, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Like, thumbs up, notification bell so you can get notified when my next video drops. Also, as always, I love to hear what you guys have to say and what your thoughts are on the content in my videos. So definitely leave a comment below. Let's chat, and I want to see what you guys' opinions are. See who differs from me and who agrees with me. So let's get right into it. 53-man roster. I'm not going to, I know a lot of guys will probably run down the entire roster. I'm just going to highlight some things that I think were surprising or things that I'm happy about, different things like that. I'm really happy we kept Lawrence Cager. Cager. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his last name. I thought he was a standout all off-season, all preseason. I'm super happy that he made the roster. I know he may not be the polished blocker and things like that, but he kind of reminds me a little bit of like a Quincy Enunwa in terms of playing that like H-back type role, and the way he can stretch the field down the seam and things like that, being a former receiver. And I think the fact that we have such good blocking tight ends on this roster, having him as an additional tight end is not being maybe the best blocker on the team is not a big detriment for him. So obviously I think one of the big surprises, maybe not surprises, more of a disappointment for a lot of fans, was Streveler getting cut. I'm not sure if he's been picked up yet, but I'd love to see if we can't find a way to get him on the practice squad. We'll see what happens there. But that was kind of disappointing for me because I love seeing this guy play, and he just balled out in the preseason. Like Salah said, one of the greatest preseasons in NFL history probably for Streveler. So some other things. I'm surprised Hardy made the roster. I think just because he's limited. I feel like we have a lot of guys that could play special teams, so I didn't see the value there. To also save us some money on the cap if we needed to make some more moves. We have a little more flexibility. I thought that would have been a move to make. Another huge surprise, I think maybe the biggest surprise to me, was the safety position, keeping both Ashton Davis and Tony Adams and releasing both Jason Pinnock and Will Parks. I love the way Jason Pinnock played last year. Maybe he's not ready to be a starter in this league yet, but the way he played, I feel like he deserves a roster spot. Will Parks just balled out all preseason. I don't feel like I saw as much out of Tony Adams, and definitely didn't see as much out of Ashton Davis. So I'm not really sure what's going on there, but I am definitely a little disappointed in that. I don't know, maybe one of the guys has maybe Ashton Davis has an injury and they're going to put him on IR and bring one of these guys back. There's a lot of flexibility and moving parts that are still going to change before we get to week one. Week one's final 48 that'll suit up. So that being said, I am surprised a little bit that we released Nasruddin and we're running with 4 linebackers. Again, maybe there's a move there. I'm not surprised about the guys on the offensive line that got cut specifically, but I am surprised we kept only 8. Leaves us a little thin there, so maybe there's another move to come there as well. And Vinny Curry. To me, Vinny Curry, I can't understand why he made this roster when you have other guys like Bradley and Jabari Zuniga that just had monster preseasons and really could have earned a spot on this roster. Same thing goes with Nathan Shepard. I can't believe Nathan Shepard made the roster, specifically over Tenzell Smart, who I think had an incredible preseason. He was blowing up plays in the backfield, sacking quarterbacks. He got penetration. He was good against the run, good against the pass. I know Shepard's more of a locker room guy. Salah likes him for like his mentality and what he brings to the team in terms of like personality, mentality, the way he plays the game as a leader, things like that. And I'm not in that locker room, so maybe we needed a player like that, and unfortunately we had to cut Tenzell Smart in order to make that happen. So I'm not really 100% sure about that, but that was definitely a little bit of a surprise. think that Tevin Coleman, not as big a surprise, but yeah, I'm surprised we kept him over Ty Johnson. Maybe Bam. I could have seen, but we did keep 4 running backs, so we'll see what happens there. You know, a guy like Bam, they may have kept on the roster because maybe they signed another offensive lineman, cut Bam. At that point, it's a later cut, so maybe he'll get through waivers later on as opposed to initially, because less teams will be in need of necessarily a running back. Maybe that will allow them to sneak him back on the practice squad because they were concerned about that or something. Yeah, so definitely some surprise moves, but you know, we're still early here. This is just the initial 53. I don't remember ever a season where the initial 53-man roster after cuts actually were the 53 that were on the roster when week 1 started. So I do think there's still going to be some moves to be made. One thing that's really great to see is, other than the Zach Wilson injury, the majority of the team has gotten through the entire preseason healthy, which is something we don't see out of the Jets very often. You know, some minor nicks and stuff like that here and there. Vinny Curry dealing with some injuries, but that's it for the most part, which is something I'm pretty happy about. So let me know what you guys think of the initial 53-man roster down in the comments. Love to hear from you guys. What surprised you about the roster? What would you have done differently? I know a lot of people think Jonathan Marshall should have made the roster for some splash plays that he had. You know, I liked Tenzell Smart over Jonathan Marshall a little bit, but that's just me personally. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.